I'm working in my shop today, and today I am doing it. I'm gonna do that thing you've been asking me to do. That's right, I'm gonna be putting the grill in Dig Dug. And I know you saw the grill in there at the Autorama, but I kind of faked it. I kind of just propped it up in there because it looked good, but it wasn't really bolted in. So I had to come back out when I drove home. But last week I went up to Idaho Falls, and at the junkyard there, I grabbed some brackets that I think will work with this grill. I'm gonna get these new brackets painted up. Rob sandblasted them for me last week on my way home, so they are ready to paint. Because these have already been sandblasted, it would be a shame not to give them the full POR 15 treatment because it sticks so good to sandblasted material. My parts here are all dry and they are looking beautiful. I put a little bit of this top coat in gloss black on them. I actually like the look of the semi-gloss a little bit better, but I've found that when the gloss black gets dirty, it kind of looks like semi-gloss. So it buys you a little bit more time before you have to clean them. Kind of like turning your underwear inside out. Time to get the old brackets out of there. Here's the old ones right here, and these are the new ones. You can see they are very different, and that's why they didn't work with this grill right here. I actually called the guy over at Engineer Vintage to figure out what brackets I need to go with this grill because he makes grills for Chevy trucks and knows all about all the different brackets. He was super helpful. I'm reusing my grill, but you can check his out at engineeredvintage.com. Right there. These little plastic clips and these screws hook into the brackets to attach the grill. This is it. I'm ready to install the grill. I had to switch around the brackets a little bit. Who knew this would be the hardest part of building a truck, but the grill is finally ready to go in. Time to see how it fits. See if we can get some of these screws to go in. Oh yeah. Here it is all installed, and Maverick even stopped by just in time to see it go in. He's as excited about this as I am. I just got these little rubber bumpers that go along the side of the hood. I'm going to install these while I'm in here. Those ought to make the hood a little bit quieter when we're off-roading. It's time for me to stop staring at this grill and move on to the next thing, which is taking care of this tire rubbing on the radiator core support. Let me show you. When I flex the suspension and I turn the tires just right, the tire will rub right here. I also need to move the axle back a little bit, which will help, but right now I'm going to do the trimming. It's nice that it's already folded down and out of the way for me. This doesn't rub very often, but when it does, it sounds awful, like a cross between like a grizzly bear and a garbage disposal. Oh, this will be better. I got it chopped out of here. Now I just need to clean up all the sharp edges. All right, that looks better. I haven't had any trouble over here on the other side, but I'm gonna do the same thing just in case. That worked really good. I've got a lot of clearance in here now, so I think this is gonna be fine. but the only way to know for sure is to get it out and test it. So I'm gonna go do that right now. And I've got Bridger home, so I think I can get him to come with me. I'm actually airing up this time before I go out on the trail. I'm using the Easy Flate, and I'm gonna put these, I think, at like 14 PSI. That's our number. You ready to go?
Yeah. Are you ready to go?
Oh yeah. This is our first drive in the truck since we got the windows put on, and it is so much better in here. It's quieter and you don't have the wind blasting you in the face. We're gonna take you the secret back way to Sand Hollow. You can also just put the location into Onyx and it'll take you right there. The trick to getting there is to go right as soon as you hit the dirt. We're gonna lock in the hubs really quick and get out of here. That's top of the world over there.
Nice.
It's kind of fun. There's a good spot right here. I think we can flex it out and see if it rubs. Bridger, you're the judge.
I'm the filmer.
Tell me what it does. Any rubbing?
No problem.
How about there? I'm looking for something a little bigger. Oh, maybe right down here, that little wall. How's that look? All right, mission accomplished. All of our tests were successful. We're gonna head back home. All right, that was awesome. One of the great new features in Onyx is cell phone coverage maps. It shows you where you will and won't have service for AT&T, T-Mobile, and Verizon. It's really helpful if you get into trouble. If you're interested in getting 20% off your first year Onyx Off-Road membership, you can use code TOMTOM at checkout, use the link in my description, or scan the QR code that's right here on the screen. That was a very successful test run, and there's more to do on this truck. But right now, I've got to get over to Route 9 and pick up the Jeep engine. Oh, it looks so good. Time to get it up on the engine stand. Okay, let me grab some wrenches. I saw some comments saying that this little stand that I built is a piece of junk. And I agree. I built it out of junk and it just had a very specific purpose. And it's already fulfilled it. When I pull the engine out of the Jeep, I will put the old engine on this and I will store it. I saw some comments saying there's no way this would hold a fully assembled engine. And it totally will. I've built tons of these just like this for small block Chevys. I think it's easy to underestimate how strong steel is. A couple little welds like this will easily hold up an engine. This engine right now looks pretty clean because it just came from the machine shop, but it's actually full of tiny little pieces of dirt that you can barely see and all the cutting fluid. So I'm going to wash it down really good and then I'll get it ready to paint. We're going to tape off everything on this engine so I can just paint it with a brush. Everything's all taped up now, so it's time to put on the POR 15. I'm gonna let this sit overnight and tomorrow morning it should be ready to tear all that tape off. It's the next morning and this paint has dried to a beautiful hard glossy finish. So I'm gonna rip off all the tape. I'm going to put all these core plugs back in the block before I wash it, and I'm going to put a little bit of this on them. This block is all prepped and ready to clean. I'm gonna push it outside and give it a good scrub down with hot water and Dawn dish soap. It looks clean in here, but it's got all of the grit and grime that was in the cutting fluid that they used, and I can feel it when I wipe my fingers across it. So I'm just gonna keep soaking and scrubbing everything, and then I'll blow it all dry it off really quick, and then I'll cover it with WD-40 so it doesn't rust. There was a lot of comments about me getting weld spatter on these bearing saddles, but I gotta tell you, they are totally smooth. That weld spatter just doesn't stick good to cast iron, especially when it's oily. Now that the engine's clean, it's ready for assembly, and I'm gonna put it together partway dry right now so that I can take a few measurements, then we'll pull it back apart. If everything's good, we'll lube it up and put it all together. I'm putting in all the main bearings right now. And like I said, I'm not lubing anything, I'm just getting them in the block. All the bottom end components are new. They came in this kit from Scat, so I shouldn't have any problems with the fit, but I'm gonna take a few measurements anyway. I'm only gonna install 3 of these right now. We're gonna do number 1, number 4, and number 7. Okay, this is all set up and ready for the plasti gauge. which is like a little waxy thread that I'm going to stick in this bearing. I'll bolt the bearing cap down and that'll squish and I can measure how wide it gets and that'll tell me the clearance in thousandths of an inch. See that little thread? There it is. Ah, perfect. Let me show you the squished plastic gauge on the crank. I've got Bridger out here measuring with me. His eyes are a little better than mine, and he's saying that it lines up with the .002 mark, which is great clearance for a brand new crankshaft. Number 1 and number 7 look pretty much the same, just a little bit under 2 thousandths. I'm going to lube up these bearings and then that crank's ready to go back in. This stuff is really thick like honey, so it'll stay in place before the engine gets started. Okay, the crankshaft is going in for the final time. I'm ready to torque all the bolts. I'm going to go up in steps, 40, 70, then 80 pounds. Okay, the last set is going to go to 80 pounds, and I'm doing it in a pattern, 3, 4, 5, 2, 6, 1, 7. Okay, the crankshaft's all torqued, so I can spin it and rotate it now, make sure everything's feeling good. I can measure the end play in the crankshaft off the number 3 bearing cap, and I can put a piston in here now and measure my deck height. Not really deck height, I guess it's piston to deck height. I really wanted to put in the pistons right now, but I can't. Let me show you what's going on. This is the wrist pin. It floats inside the piston, but it's also on these supposed to float inside of the connecting rod. And these are a little bit too small. This hole is about 3 thousandths smaller than this wrist pin. So it won't go in. It's supposed to float. It doesn't. I don't know why. Maybe I got the wrong connecting rods. Maybe Dave can fix this. So I'm gonna talk to Scott. I'll get this figured out and I'll have to show you what we're gonna do next week. There is one more thing I can get done on this engine though. I'm gonna install the camshaft. Sad, sad. Okay, we'll just put those away and come back to them later. Okay, this is a nice upgrade from Comp Cams. It's gonna have a lot more power than the stock camshaft and it has a lot more lift. Fortunately, the new Edelbrock head will handle this. This bolt right here is gonna be my handle so I can hold on to this thing. That ought to work. I need to oil this thing, so I'll see if I can get it to stay in here. All right. I'm not gonna put any oil on all the lobes right now. I'm just oiling these journals and the block. There's only 4 bearings on this big long camshaft, and I've heard that's one of the reasons these engines don't like to rev to really high RPM. It'll start to whip or deflect in between the bearings. Here to here. Here goes. Okay, the camshaft is in. Got this little cam retainer plate going on. I'm gonna Loctite these in. There it is with the crankshaft installed, camshaft's in. That's a good stopping point. I learned a few things on the test drive with Bridger. Let me show you what's going on. Right down here, I've got a little bit of rubbing. And right here, there's a little bit of rubbing. And right here, there's a lot of rubbing. So I know that there's a couple things that have to be done to the track bar and to the drag link. So I'm gonna pull those out right now and get them figured out. See how close that is right there? See how close that is? I've got to fix those. I also don't have a real tube insert installed on this side of the drag link. I just have a nut welded to the end, and I didn't tell you about it earlier because I didn't want you to worry. Fortunately, I just got a little package from Barnes with all the stuff I need to fix that. I'm going to try and pull out the drag link here first. We can fix that one, and then it'll be a little easier to get to the track bar. This was my favorite hammer. I did a good job putting that in. There we go. I got it out of there, and I'm pretty sure this is the end. I gotta chop off and re-weld. We'll find out in a minute here. Before I do that, I'm gonna measure how long this thing is so I can make it the same length, because it's working right now. I'm not really gonna measure how long it is. I'm just gonna mark it on my table here. Okay, we'll make it exactly that long. This is definitely the bad one. I can tell because the threads aren't very deep, so I'll chop it off and weld in this. The drag link here is all ready to go back in, but I have to clearance a couple of the spots up in the mounting brace so it stops rubbing. Right here's where it was rubbing. It wasn't real bad, but definitely not good. Okay, this next problem is a little bit trickier. The track bar is hitting the bracket right here and it's rotating it, which makes it hit really bad over here. Right here it's hitting the differential and it's got to move forward and up. I might even have to put a little bit more bend in this track bar to make it work. I'll pull it out of here and figure out what we need to do. I've got it out and you can see how bad it's been rubbing on the track bar and up here on the diff cover. You can also see where it's been rubbing on the tube insert and on the bracket over here. I was gonna weld this up, but it really doesn't look that bad. So I'm gonna leave this alone and I'll do some grinding on the bracket so that it doesn't rotate and this will stop happening. I think the next thing I want to do is add a bend, kind of like I've got in this side, but over here. And I need it far enough out that it's not going to hit the pitman arm and close enough in that it doesn't hit the oil pan. That's a lot. We'll go to 16. Oh, there it is. Okay, if I bend this back, it should be almost parallel when it's done. When it gets to 0, we're done. There we are. You can see this has a nice offset in it now, and hopefully it's enough. I'm trying not to rub the differential and not to rub somewhere new like the drag link. Time to go back in. Oh, that looks a lot better. This might work. Got clearance over here, right there, down here. I'm gonna lock this in. Drag links going back in. Everything's back together down here, and I've got a lot more clearance, which still isn't very much, but it'll get better later when I move the axle back like 1/2 inch to 1 inch. Better right there. Better over here. 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 It's better everywhere. I think I need to get the truck back out into the whoops. I'm heading right back over to the whoops so we can test this thing out, make sure we've got enough clearance on that steering. That Explorer is looking very abandoned over there. I might check it out on the way back. It's eating this trail up, but the big whoops are still ahead of us. We're almost there. Here we go. This is where the big ones are. Big Doug is loving these. I can't hear any of that rattle or bonking down there. I think we're running good. I think that was a good, successful test. I'm going to take it back to the shop now and go look and see if there's any rub marks on the drag link or track bar. Dang, those are fun. Those are fun. This looks like it might have got stolen and dumped here. I'm gonna drop a pin and call it in. Looks like they just went barreling through the desert in this thing. If this was your Ford Explorer, it's right here. All right, I'm back and it's time to inspect and see if anything bonks down there. That looks pretty good right there. Nothing right there. That looks good. Down there looks good. Okay, I think this is working. I'm not seeing anything down there that looks like it rubbed at all. I'm gonna call this a huge success. I should be able to run Big Doug nice and hard without worrying about any of those links hitting. Oh, check this out down here. This just came in the mail. This came from Jake at Heldwell. He 3D printed these and they are so cool. This little guy too. I think it's an axolotl. All right, check these out. So these are for angle grinder discs. I love my angle grinders and I'm gonna hang them on the wall and then I can stack my discs in there. The 3D printing on these is super good too. These are cool. Thank you, Jake. I'm gonna hang these up and I think I need to get a 3D printer. This looks so fun. I'm missing out on something here. The angle grinder kits are gonna be available any day on the website. I'm going up this weekend to pick them up from the laser cutter and we'll put together the little boxes and kits and you'll see them there soon. I also keep adding favorite things to the website. I think there's My Meta kits on there now. There's also glue tread, Yankum ropes, Easy Flate. Bunch of my favorite products there, so keep checking those out too. Thank you so much for watching and supporting the channel. See you next week.